Did you start it?
Okay, yeah, started it.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, welcome to the Aceline podcast. We are
Um,
back, Imani. We're back after our very
don't say
long break.
you've been gone for a very long time. They don't
After
know.
our very long
Time
break.
exists differently. No, no.
No,
We
actually,
were
you
literally
guys just saw us last week, so
exactly. Time isn't real. When was the
time isn't
last?
real.
Did we do it before? And how long? When was?
We did one
Let's
right
not do
after. Oh God, right after New Year's.
that. Yeah. That's what I thought.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, we haven't done it.
So
Oh, yeah. Okay, hold on. Well, no, talk. I'm gonna change my sweatshirt because it's it's the name of my middle school, and I don't think I want to be wearing that on this. So yeah.
so I just want to tell a little story real quick because um I like hearing stories of, my friends, when they have their just like I'm just a girl, I'm just a guy moment. Well, today
You
guys, I
stop saying it like this is a thing everyone says.
this is a thing that everyone says. Guys,
You guys know.
I just had my I'm just a guy moment, and I guy listen. I not Imani's not going to know who this is, but
That's rare. Usually it's the other way around.
I embody the essence that is Iono Koji in Classroom of the Elite
Did you just
because
start watching this anime?
I did because Iono Koji is a very like nonchalant, very like he doesn't give away his emotion. He just wears the same face and that's it. So when I'm out in public, that's really how I am, guys. Um, by myself. When I'm with my friends, that's a different thing. They see the real me, but everyone else sees a part of me. And I last year made a promise to Tyra, and I didn't get to do it. Tyra is my girlfriend. I don't know if you guys remember that. I promised her that I would get her some Girl Scout cookies. And so
Oh my God, I want Girl Scout cookies. Can you get those to me too?
after the gym, I went to Walmart and I was like, yeah, I'm probably gonna get some. I was thinking to myself, I'm gonna get some Girl Scout cookies at some other time, but this was perfect, guys. I just went to the gym. I went to Walmart because I was like, yeah, I'm gonna grab my stuff that I need for the week, and then I'm gonna go home. And they were selling Girl Scout cookies right there. I was like, oh my God, I need me some. Or I need to get Tyra some. This is my moment to surprise her in a year. She won't remember. And Tyra's not gonna watch this episode before I ask her to be my Valentine. So it's gonna be the perfect plan. However, guys, I initially bought 2 packs of the wrong cookies because
2 packs is crazy. 2 is insane.
because I was so certain that when we talked about it last year that she wanted the lemon cookies. I was so certain that my this is my I'm just a guy moment. You know, guys think that they're so right about something that they don't do any research behind it. Guys, this was
They
me,
don't do her.
okay? I bought those cookies. I got 2 packs. I walked to my car. Then I did the research and I was like, I grabbed the wrong pair. I look back. Tyra wanted the green bag. It's like they're like French toast cookies or something like that.
Oh, I was gonna say, okay, yeah, those are very different than the lemon.
Anyways, I look back. I'm like, I see. All right, this is the green pack. That's the one Tyra wanted. I see the green pack back there, and I'm just like, I have to go back. So
how far away were you by the time you realized that you had gotten the wrong
I was
cookie?
sitting in my car.
That's so funny that you bought them and were like, "But just to double check."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, I'm so certain. So I'm only gonna check afterwards. And then I was
Oh my
wrong. And so I
god.
look back, I see them and I'm like, so I'm like, either I do one thing. I say, hey, can I get either I keep the 2 packs, which are $6 each. Either I keep the 2 lemon packs and give them to my dad because my dad likes the lemon cookies. And then I somehow get my dad to buy them for me and I get the money back. And then I can just go back some other day and get the Girl Scout cookies that Tyra actually wanted. Either I do that or I walk back up here and say something like, hey guys, I was on the phone and I grabbed the wrong box of Girl Scout cookies. Can I trade these out for those? I didn't do anything that cool or that. I
I
just
really
walked up. I was like,
you probably should have. That would have worked,
I
I
was like,
bet.
hey, can I can I get these lemon cookies? Just I'll pay for another box if you want. Can I just get one of the greens? If you want me to pay for it, that's fine. And then like the two parents like kind of looked at each other. The girls were just looking at me like this guy's a dumbass. And then the mom's exchange looks like this guy's a dumbass. And
Wait, did
then
you make it clear that you were trying to
yeah,
exchange
yeah,
it?
I made it clear that I was trying to exchange it. And she was like, "So what do you want to do?" I was like, "Yeah, so which one?" She was like, "So which ones do you want?" I'm like, "Those." She's like, "Yeah, that's fine." She when I asked the question, when I asked the initial question, she snickered, guys. She laughed at me.
No. I
Guys,
think it is hilarious buying the wrong because I feel like people ride or die for Girl Scout cookies, so I don't think it's a mistake people make often buying the wrong ones. So I'm sure they were like,
they were
"Why'd you
just
buy 2 boxes
yeah,
of them
right?
then?"
She was like, "Yeah, you can trade them out." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, I
A
have
laugh is better than like a at least she wasn't like mad, like, "What?" Like, because I feel like I would have been like, "What the fuck did you do to these cookies when you got in the car that you wanna give them back to me?" I'm like, "What did you do to my cookies and now you wanna give them back to me? I don't know what the fuck you did with that box in the 5 minutes that you were gone." She was very nice. That's very sweet.
anyway, this just happened, guys. And yeah, I was just like, I walked away with the two green boxes, and I could just feel their eyes on my back, like I'm shaking their head, and in their minds, maybe they're shaking their head, or maybe they're not thinking about it at all. I don't know. And then I just internalized it the whole way home. Jalen, you're
No.
a dumbass, Jalen. You're
Hey,
stupid.
what
You're
when
dumb.
and how did you? Because you sent the text without any additional context of, "Guys, I just realized I'm just a guy." And I was like,
That's
I don't
it.
know if that's connected to anything else
This is
or if
this is
that's the whole statement.
this
Okay.
this is the context. I'm just a boy,
Wait,
guys. I'm
do you still have
just
the cookies? Can we see them? Because I'm trying to figure out which ones you bought, and which ones were the ones that Tara actually wanted.
no.
Uh,
They're
crazy.
downstairs. They're downstairs.
That's
If I
crazy.
pull them out, then my dad is gonna say, "Oh, you got some Girl Scout cookies," da, 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 da. And I'm like, "No, they're not for you."
Wait, so that's crazy. Did you just know where to find them? Because like I've never like the times in which I crave Girl Scout cookies are exponentially higher than the times I could actually find Girl Scout cookies to buy.
No, I was just going to the store to do my like Sunday after the gym run, and then I'm like, I see that there's a table set up outside. I'm like, what are they doing? And it's like Girl Scout cookies. I'm like, perfect.
Perfect.
I was like, because I was like, I'm gonna surprise her. I was planning on buying them to surprise her, like, and ask her to be my Valentine that way, anyways. Because apparently, guys, another thing, another context. All right, guys, listen, boys, listen.
Boys
It does
only.
not matter. It does not matter if you guys have been dating for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. It doesn't matter if you guys are married. Your woman wants you to ask her to be your Valentine every year. Okay? Every year. Make sure you remember that because Tyra just came to me like earlier this week, and she was like, "So when are you gonna ask me?" I'm like, "Ask you what? We're dating, dog. At the end of August, it will literally be 3 years we have been dating. What? Like, why do I need to ask?" And she's like, and I'm like, "Why can't you ask this year?" It's that not like, oh, ooh, ooh. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not that mad about it. It gives me a reason to show off, just whatever. I can
I'm
come up
so
with it.
glad you said that because I will be texting her after this and I will be bullying her for that because that's corny as fuck. That it's corny as fuck that it would be cute if you were like, yeah, just that's something I want to do. Corny as fuck that she asked you and I will be bullying her for that later, but I love that for you guys. I do, but she will not hear the end of that and I will reveal that I just found out that information.
You can't
But I
bully.
just don't.
You can't bully her soon.
Okay, I'll
It has,
bully
to,
her later.
it has to at least be like either after I've asked her or after Valentine's Day.
When this episode comes out, you better get quick work because when this episode comes out, I'll be like, huh, anyway. I will say Valentine's Day is a very cute, very, very, very cute holiday. People complain a lot about how it's been commercialized, and I'm like, that's fair, but like you're an individual person in an individual relationship. You get to decide whether or not you want to celebrate Valentine's Day, what you want to do at that day. Like no one's forcing you. And people that are, you should not respect them anyway. Like anyone that's like, oh, you're single on Valentine's Day, or like, don't you want to like do something for the day? And I'm like, it's a made up holiday. I think probably made by like, organizations to sell candy. Like it's if at most it is an opportunity, like you said, to just like celebrate your partner and like celebrate the relationship as it is. You don't have to like people talk about like can't break up with them on Valentine's Day or like the relationship's only this far in. It's like do I have to do all these things for Valentine's Day? And I'm like no, it's a fucking day of the week of the month. You can choose as much as you want to do on that day,
You
on
know,
that day.
I almost wonder
Also,
if
wait, say your thought, but I have to boil water because there's a boil water advisory, so I can't drink any of the drinking water. I need to turn it off because it's on the stove. Give me a sec.
um I wonder if February, sorry, not February. I wonder if Valentine's Day is a made up holiday, like Imani actually said. Because if you think about it, without Valentine's Day, I don't think there's any major holidays from the beginning of the year to Easter.
What
So
holidays from the beginning
that's
of the year to Easter?
that's why I think Imani is
Uh,
dumb or something. I don't know. so
I know you're
you
talking
so
about
so you so
talking about me
you
clearly not with a good point either.
so you did hear um what I was saying.
No, I didn't. I just
Oh.
heard beginning of the year to Easter.
Oh, I was saying that I do think Valentine's Day probably was fabricated because it was like there's no holidays in between like the beginning of the year and like Easter.
True. I think so too. I think that's why they made the Super Bowl and Mardi Gras. They were like, the beginning of the year is too fucking boring. We need some shit for February and March to spice it up. I'm like, sure. Do you want to know how I usually spend my Valentine's Day? The
Mm,
answer should be
you pull
yes.
out your no,
Not you
I'm
guess.
making a guess. You pull out your big Namjoon poster.
Whoa.
Um
I'm so proud of you for remembering his name. I don't even care anything you're about to say. I'm just proud.
let's say so you pull out your big Namjoon poster and you like just look at them all day, just like for that one day, and then you roll it up again for next year. That's my prediction.
That's so crazy that you think my love is for him is only limited to that 1 year. I would have that poster up all the time. I probably no, I don't have it up right now. I do have
And
BTS
she doesn't love
poster.
him anymore, guys.
True. No,
They're
stop. The guys are just in the military. They're gonna
just in
come
the
back. I
military, and
promise.
so she is just like they're not important to her anymore.
But stop. I wish. Man, maybe that feels too weird. There are some cool BTS stuff. It would be fun to do on Valentine's Day, but I think that the connotation of that is too strange. I would not do that. LOL. No, that's not what I do. That sounds really boring too. I'm just staring at a wall. Where's the creativity? No, what I really do is I buy candy and sweets and I sit alone in my room and I watch something that I like.
Romantic or just anything?
No, honestly, probably not. Like, I think I would want to watch something that was actively not romantic. I think that would be more enjoyable. I have, and this came because I think like when you grow up, like like Valentine's Day is celebrated in schools. Like you exchange candy and little cards. Like it's very cute. I think it's always been like a social thing even before it was like romantic. But then I remember I spent Valentine's Day one year, like under the guest bed of my grandma's house. And I think I had like a bunch of like that like cookies and cream Hershey's like white chocolate bars. And I was just like eating the fuck out of those. And then I think I was like watching an episode of Supernatural. It was a really good episode. I think it was just like watching an episode of Supernatural. And from then on, I decided this is the only way I want to spend every Valentine's Day. I mean, I guess as long as I'm single, but for the most part, I was like, this is a great excuse to watch TV and eat candy and be like, go me for just being around, you know? It's very fun.
Wait till your brothers and sisters see where you've been, huh?
Exactly. Just letting the gears turn, you know? I still wake up to that song. It's still my alarm. Although I shut him up a lot earlier. It's starting to annoy me where I'm like, you're too eager for the
Go
day.
spin the. All right, all right. Cut that
No,
shit
they
out.
are.
Cut that shit.
Cool, cool, cool. Fucking brush my teeth. Ugh.
Right when the war quiet. Shut up. Shut up. I was sorry. That was the second alarm.
Honestly, I think I have three. I think I have three, and it's all the same song. For the third one, I'm like awake though, so I'm like, all right, I'll let him do his little thing.
I actually did. As I was brushing my teeth this morning, getting ready for the day, I played that song.
Wow.
Yep, yep, yep.
Good.
But on the topic of alarms, I don't do themed alarm clocks anymore because I've realized that it doesn't matter what the alarm is. I just hate the idea of blaring anything as I wake up.
Really? You like to wake up what, gradually? Wait, how do you wake up then?
I just wake up to an alarm, just a regular alarm, because I don't want the alarm to be something that I like.
Oh,
Then I
because you're
just
gonna
then I just
negatively.
hate it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. It needs to be something evil. People thought like the iPhone like default like didn't fucking
Oh,
awful.
ah,
Traumatizing. Ugh. I
oh,
can't do that. That would piss me off so much. I need something slightly jovial.
yeah.
I think
So,
that's
the only other thing I really wanted to talk about was Squid Game.
oh yeah. I like that this is the most blasé I think either of us have been about a topic. It's like, oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Squid
Squid
Game.
Game. Listen, Imani
Oh
and
yeah,
I
can we
are.
do a disclaimer before we talk about it? If you like Squid Game as a show in
We
general, I
didn't.
don't think you're gonna like
We
this
didn't.
one.
I'll tell you right now, we didn't. I'll tell you right now, I didn't like
Okay,
even
I
more
like
of
season
it.
one.
I
You're a
didn't like
straight up
even more of it. Okay. So
hater.
that's all I have to say about that. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's lay down. This is like a debate. Let's go ahead and lay down our topic so we know where we stand. Okay.
No
I
debate.
think Squid Game season 1 wasn't even good, and the reason for that is season 1 doesn't work because you follow a main character. So to me, there is never a time where I should be afraid or the main character, or if he's on the team, like during the tug of war episode, why would I ever be afraid of, oh no, all the main characters with people that we've actually paid attention to on the show are on one team and all the no name characters are on the other team? Who's gonna win? Honestly, if the show just yeeted everybody off right there, I would have respected that show so much. I would have thought that was so cool. Just like, damn, that's crazy. But no, obviously no one's ever gonna do that. So here we are, and I'm just like, why would I ever be afraid? It's like, oh no, how's he gonna get out of the situation? Oh no, he only has 30 seconds left. Whatever, he's the main character. He's gonna get out of it some way. I'm not afraid for anything that happens to the main character. Now, was whatever was the Marble episode sad? Sure. That one guy was gonna go back to his family and blah 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 blah. That's really sad. And that one girl finally made a connection with a friend for the first time. Like that stuff was good. That was great. But you know what would have made it even better? If we got all of like the backstories for these people. First what you do is you start in the game. Don't give me no 1 episode, 2 episodes of I don't remember the main character's name.
Gihan?
Gihan. Don't give me 1 or 2 episodes of him with his daughter and building a connection with that. Honestly, the only way you should do something like that, in my opinion, the only time you should do something like that is if you immediately kill him off. Like, wouldn't it be so crazy the show started with Gihan or just started with some other character if you wanted Gihan to ultimately end up being the main character? We started the show, we see their backstory first, and then as soon as the first episode, or as soon as the first game starts, the red light, green light, immediately gets shot in the head. And then everybody's like, what? Like that was the main character. And then it's like, okay, so now you branch out. Now you follow this character. And then okay, so he dies, and then you get the reactions of everybody else that you want to follow throughout the show, right? And you're just like, oh shoot, that's crazy. Now we're following Kong Se Buk. That was my girl back in season 1. Loved her. They did her wrong. You follow her. You follow the guy, the university guy. You follow whoever else. Like you follow all those characters throughout the show, and that way tension is built in each scene. Because you've built the idea that anybody can die at any time. No one is safe. Even the people that we showed these reactions of, they're not safe. Maybe none of them are who's going to end up being the one that lives in the end. But we're still showing all these characters because anybody can die at any moment. So throughout the whole show, you have that tension. You have everything built up. And then when, say, some other character died and Gihan does end up being the survivor, when Gihan does kill his, well, I guess the university guy killed himself or whatever. But when he does do that, it's even more emotional. Like, maybe this is just me, but when the guy killed himself, I didn't care. I knew he was gonna die. Oh no, it's sad because he doesn't get to go back to the mom that I saw that he interacted with like maybe 1 or 2 times. Like, oh no, like whatever. I knew who was gonna live. Why? Like it's kind of the same way with me. Like when I find when I get a spoiler of a show, like before watching it, if I get a spoiler, I will remember that spoiler. Like I hate it, but I will. Like, and so when I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch da da da, and I don't remember their name, but I remember some blonde haired character with a scar on his, I don't know, forehead dies. So I remember that. Oh, okay, that's him. Yeah, he dies. So I'm just gonna not build a connection to him, because I know that he dies, and that's just how my brain works. And so that's really why Squid Game doesn't work for me, because I know everybody but the main character is going to die. So why do I care? And that's my piece. Imani?
I think that's fair. We've already talked about this a lot, and so like I fully understand like where you come from with not liking season 1. I think I understand it better now. And again, it's a to each their own. Like I am someone that like I will forget a spoiler, and like the way that I lock in when it comes to shows, I I try not to give myself enough time to like figure out what's going on. Like I've been like reading recently, and I'm like reading, and like the pace in which I'm reading, when I'm not reading, I'm trying not to think about the thing too much because I'm like I don't want to accidentally figure something out. And there have been that things where I'm like, oh, I kind of think it might be this and this, and even when it happens, I'm like, what? No, like. But with that being said, I know that's also a very unique perspective in which people watch the show. Like the ability to enjoy a show, even when like deep down, like how it's going to end, like to a certain degree, is not a universal experience, which is why you have twists and turns and misdirects in film so that you can have a blanket slate where like no one's figuring something out too quickly. And I mean you can't speak to everyone's like like you can't speak to everyone's like intelligence when it comes to figuring that stuff out. But it's like Squid Game is very blatant about what it is. Like they're blatant about the fact that this is a game where like it is like kind of a death to one sort of thing. I think if anything, when it comes to the side characters, I think it's less about the potential that the main character that Gihun is going to die. I think it's more about the potential that the other side characters you like might also live. I guess is where I sort of see like where the suspense comes from. It's just like how many of these other side characters can he take with him? And we see that start to dwindle and dwindle and dwindle as you go down. And I feel like part of the anxiety of watching the first season is in the like the cruel like nihilistic inevitability of the fact that like you do know like you're like no they can't do that and like it's pull harder like and it's like you're doing all that and it's almost like it's with the feeling that you're trapped in the game and like to a certain degree like because most of those people in the game you have to know you're not making it to the end like you have to fucking know and I think in my head that's also what makes season 2, which is its own thing, like so fucking frustrating. Is I'm like season 1, I'm like, yeah, like it's your first time going through the experience, so it's like I can see it as that there might have been the creative understanding of yeah, like deep down, this character is likely gonna be the one to survive, and all the other characters aren't. But there's like a nihilistic hope in your gut and in the other character's gut that like maybe there's a chance that they will survive. And I think that desperation comes from the sheer brutality of the environment of the Squid Game. That like there's no other option other than to hope that you're going to survive, especially like mentally as a viewer watching it. It's like well, I'm locked in now. I can only hope that they make it through. And that's where some of the anxiety and like suspense comes from. Even though then there's the fatalism of like watching as that doesn't happen. And it's like, it's sad, but at the same time, you feel like awful because it's like, you knew that. You knew they weren't going to make it. And still, it's like this emotional thing. I think I'm giving the show a lot more credit maybe than it deserves, giving saying that. But like I can see that possibly being like a route that they wanted to take. But that is, I think, the reason that I was able to enjoy season 1. With that being said, season 2, after the first like 2 or 3 episodes where we're like out of the games and like frankly
Okay, that too though, because out of the game. Sorry, I was just gonna say the first 2 episodes. Oh, I especially the first episode. Honestly, I liked the whole kind of
yes.
mysterious looking for the organization. I even liked the guy like buying bread and going around and telling people like you wasted, you could have had a chance, but you still squandered it. Like I like that stuff. And then we get into the games and I'm just like, we're just doing everything again. Like
Oh my god!
I'm like,
Literally, I
you're
was like
focusing on the wrong
so
stuff.
excited. Because I saw the trailer and I saw how much of there was still Squid Game stuff. That's why I wasn't eager to really watch it because I was like, oh, is it just kind of like the same thing? And then you were like, oh, you have to watch it, which I'll never take your advice again because I forget that you like to watch things that you don't like. I hate watching shit I don't like. It pisses me off. So I'm thinking, oh, there must be a reason why
But
Jalen and other people want me to watch this, and there wasn't.
It's a toxic trait of mine. It really is. I because my problem is when I start getting pissed off at something, I'm just like, there's no way there's no way you're this shit. There's no way. There's no way this is actually that shitty. That you must have something behind it. Like I give people the benefit of doubt. I'm just like, there's no way you're dragging out these long ass voting scenes for nothing. Like you have to be doing
Yes.
something with the, like there must some like there's no like okay the first one dragged out, okay maybe they were gonna go home, but they didn't. Okay, a second one, a third one, I'm like you must, the second one I'm like you must have something, there's something's gonna happen here, maybe they're all gonna go home and then they're gonna like go back into the real world and start offing these people one by one, like because there can be no loose ends or something like that, like they all mysteriously start dying, you know, or something like
Right.
that. I'm like, oh shoot, but there's nothing. There's nothing. And I'm like, no, you're just wasting my fucking time. Like I'm just some pay pig, that just some consumer to you instead of someone who wants to watch good shows.
That's I started feeling like because again, first season I'm like, oh, I kind of feel like it's partially like you're forced to bear witness is the feeling that I get. And I'm like, oh, okay, I can fuck with that idea. Like you can't stop. And the second season feels like it's trying to be like, yeah, you can't stop watching, right? But it's less clever, and then I
And
feel
I'm
like
just
it's
like,
literally
no,
just
I
filling my
can.
money. No, I was like, I can though, and I feel like you think you're still grabbing me, and you're not.
You not, you
I
are all those voting scenes after like halfway through the second one where I was like, okay, so you're going nowhere with this, 2 times speed. Thank God Netflix has that feature.
And it's
Like,
like and the problem is the vote wait, okay, hold on, I have to turn off I have to actually turn off the boiling water, but don't say any well, say stuff, but I have a thought.
stuff, but I have a thought. Stuff, but I have a thought. Stuff, but I have a thought. Stuff, but I have a thought. Stuff, but I have a thought. Stuff,
You
but
think
I have a
you
thought.
you
Stuff,
think you're
but I
so
have a
funny.
thought.
You think you're so funny. But, like, also considering those voting scenes are, like, literally the only scenes in which Gi-hun expresses any, like, real drive or motivation to get out of the games, like, everything else is him just playing the games like it's his first fucking time, but now he's sad, and so I'm like, I especially don't give a fuck about you, like, you're not doing anything. You do one thing like in like the last 2 episodes and it also like literally at that point I'm like this has to be successful because if it's not successful you've literally actively wasted hours of my time because then it hasn't been building up to anything because his whole point was like hey like if there was any time where we'd be able to overpower them it's during the night like during the night where everyone kills each other and I'm like okay I kind of get that logic. I clearly don't think you'd been thinking about that before, but I guess it works now. And I'm like, okay, sure, maybe this works out. And then it doesn't. And it's not even like it's not like, oh, this new
Oh
thing we
my
hadn't even
God.
thought about comes in and that's why it does and that he hadn't accounted for. Like it's not like he's outsmarted. He's just incredibly way too ambitious. And then the person that we've known the entire time is like not on his team, who's not suspicious of at all.
Even
Not
though
one
even though
singular
he had a
time.
whole arc in the last season of
Yeah.
him not knowing that number one was actually someone. Like, first off, it's just a dumbass idea on the the bad guy side of things. 'Cause I'm just like, why would you pick the number that the old guy from the last season did? Why do you think he wouldn't figure it out? Thank God Gi-hun is a dumbass because he didn't figure it out. But
I was gonna say, and also like my oh my
and
like my
also,
I
sorry, no,
can't
I'm also just like, sorry.
we just were both like, and also, yeah, and also
I'm also just like, because and it's like, oh, maybe he's just so shocked from what happened. I'm like, no, shut the fuck up with all that trying to make sense of this shit. The writer did not think of this, guys. I'm sorry to tell you, but the author, sorry, the creator just doesn't have anything more. He had, yes, were there Korean, like what were they, like prisoners or something that were subjected to the games back in like the 80s or 70s or something. Did that happen?
okay.
Yes. Is that what this show is based off of? Kind of, sorta. But basically, the creator just had this kind of, sorta idea with nothing else. He said, okay, what I have this show. It's like a game show, but people die. I don't know anything else that really goes on. You guys can kind of just throw out some ideas and I'll just kind of take from that. But I don't
Yeah,
have
like
anything else really. All
I
I got is this.
like season 2 is supposed to either be a continuation of where you were going with season 1 or it's supposed to like expand on the questions and theories and concepts that people grab from it and want to know more of after watching season 1. And it's like we got the smallest snippets of like the game and like the behind the scenes of it, but none of it is like even clear. Like even like the whole arc with the woman that works for the games, I'm like still like lost on what her motivations are. Like that's what I wanted to know. That's all I wanted to fuck. Once we got back in the games, I was like, I don't think I care about this. I just want to know where this woman is. Why does she like? What are her motivations for getting in the game? And then it feels like it follows a trail about like the killing of the bodies and whether or not that's moral. And I'm like, you have to first explain to me why the people that are working the games are in the games before you add on the layers of like, yeah, and then is it additionally moral or immoral to like harvest the organs of these people? Like, I just feel like I'm like, is that what you want me to focus on? Because I feel like you're not making it clear. Like, and then you don't follow the thread that much, and like the things, and then she just stops. These characters, oh my god, the characters of season, oh no, not all of them. Some of them I like, but like most of the characters of season two, either whether they're continuations from season one, have absolutely no backbone. The woman, understandable, scary situation, but I got the vibe that she was like a killer, like that she had like this like very dark side of her. But she just like the last thing we get is that they threaten her, and then she just stops.
She's just like, all right,
And I'm like,
fair enough.
okay, then like what was the point of us sticking this out? And the same thing with Gihan. I feel like I'm like if he was this determined, to like if he was this determined to like really, get like figure out how to work his way through the game. Like we don't see that. Like he has to be prompted by the man that made the game. Who he has to be prompted regularly by the man that made the game to do anything. Otherwise, he's literally just like useless. And I'm like, that's what pisses me off so much about this idea that like there's like it's any like big moment of like the black mask guy confronting him again of like see like it's pointless. And I'm like that scene would mean more if Gihun even remotely tried. And like there are like because it would have been like yeah you keep trying and trying and trying and you're
You
failing.
keep trying to
And the
save
most he did
people.
was like guys don't you want to live? And they're like yes, but I think I can make more money and live. And that's every voting scene. And then he fails and he's like, "Ugh, it's their fault. And it's like, but also like, I'm sure we're going to get it now. And I'm like, I feel like I don't know this character anymore. Frankly, I'm just literally so confused by him. I don't understand.
And why the villain just doesn't kill him in the end? Like this is just a bunch of whole like oh sorry hold on okay first off the first couple episodes are I will argue that the first couple episodes of Squid Game season 2 are probably the best episodes like in the whole show, like season 1 and season 2. Like
I
that
think
last episode, those last like 10 minutes with the Russian roulette, that shit was so good. Like, and I'm just like, see, I don't know if someone else wrote this scene or if the creator wrote the scene, but if the creator made this scene, then I'm like, so you're capable of good writing and not wasting my time, and yet you still
and then
keep
you
feeding me
chose.
slop. You still like you chose to feed me slop. You can give me good episodes, intriguing stuff that makes me want to keep watching, but instead you're just out here to get a paycheck because Netflix didn't give you enough money for the first season. So you're just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna waste people's time so that I can make more money. Then I'll make a third season, fourth season, fifth season, with no logic behind it and just do it again. Whatever, people will watch it because they're fucking pay pigs. Oh my god.
It is.
Oh.
I will say like I think there are plenty of great things in season one, but like those first two or three episodes of season two were like it wasn't what I was expecting, which was but like in a good way. Like I was like, yeah, like don't put us back in the game. Like I want to see like how behind the scenes of like how this place operates without the illusion of the games and like the pressure of the games. Like that's the whole point, And we just didn't. Then we got back in, and it was like nothing. It really was like that. I think that's what made it so much worse. Like if it was from the get go, just clear where it was gonna go, nowhere, I would have like probably stopped earlier. But it was like the potential was so high, and there were so many different aspects. Like literally, the fact I thought the fact that it was like, hey man, I got unlimited resources, like I'm rich, like, and being
Speaking of
like, oh, there
okay,
are all the things we can do with that,
speaking
huh?
of the unlimited resources, by the way, I don't like. I was sitting here thinking of the first episode or two, and I'm thinking to myself, you paid these people consistently like for 3 years. I'm like, I'm not gonna do the math, but how much money did you have? Like, I'm not gonna do the math. I don't care enough about the show, but I'm sure someone out there will do the math, and I'm waiting for that person. I need somebody to
Yeah.
do this math. Okay, he had like what, at least 50 guys. He had two
Yeah.
at every train station. Whatever, whatever. He did this for 3 years. Like, he bought all these weapons. He bought a whole hotel as his like base of operation.
I
Like,
don't know, and I don't get the significance of the hotel quite either. Like, why does it have to be a hotel instead of just like a house?
I don't know. And I'm
Do
just
they
like,
sleep there?
and so I'm just like, I just don't think he had enough money to be doing what the show says he does. But I don't really know, and I'm not gonna do the math to find out. So I'm not gonna use this as a plot hole. I'm just saying, I don't think so.
I was gonna say, like, I mean, it was a lot of money, but I like three. I mean, again, it's not like all, but it wasn't like all the time. Like, it was for like a month and a half, I think. That he would do this, like, and it was like every day. So it wasn't like the whole year. It was like for a month and a half every year. Can you fund this? Honestly, probably if he's not like paying for anything else. Surely this motherfucker ain't paying for no child support. Damn. But I don't know. I do think like the monetary aspect. And again, I think that could have been like there are so many outside world things that could have been interesting to explore about like cuz it is like, he gets so hopeless once he's in the games, which I'm like I guess that's by design, although they don't really have to try that hard to make him like hopeless in the game, which I'm like for a motherfucker that 2 episodes ago held a gun to his head with one bullet in it, 2 chances, one fucking bullet, and pulled the trigger. That motherfucker should be going crazy ape shit in the games. He should be going insane. I expect insane behavior from a man like that, and he gets so sad so fast. And I'm like, what are you afraid of? To die? Clearly you're not. So like, what's the and like clearly the people that are around you have all seen murder and still signed up for the games. At that point, you should be like, fuck it. I'm ending this shit no matter what. Again, which is again why I'm surprised. It's again why I'm surprised that like the guy in the mask is like thinking like it's a big haha gotcha moment of like, oh, see, I'm making him change his morals by like
you
letting these
you don't
people
care about
die.
these lives either, and it's like, I
Did he
mean,
care that much?
yeah,
Like,
I'm just like, I mean, people kind of died anyways. It's really out of his control. Like, here's the thing. Here's the
I
thing.
say he should have been saying that fucking 3 games ago. Like, he just didn't directly. Like, either way, he's letting it happen. Like, what?
Like, here's the thing. I think. See, I thought the first game was gonna end with no one dying. I thought that
I
would
thought
get.
that would be cool.
I thought that would be cool. I thought that would get the message across, right? Or just one person dies. Either that or just one person, because they probably wouldn't believe him. They were like, "Hey, we're gonna die," like, da, da, da. Like, but if one person dies, like, and everybody's like, "Oh my god!" But I guess I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm just sitting here thinking, I'm like, if someone told me I'm in this game, someone told me that if you move, you're gonna die. You're literally gonna die, and someone dies in front of me. I just don't think me seeing the dead body is gonna make me go. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm different. Maybe someone would. I just think
Here's
that
the problem. Here's the problem. Are we judging this off of what's realistic in the real world? Because I think this world is meant to be like it's supposed to be a high pressure environment with people doing this very specific ass fucking like situation. You know what I mean? And I'm like, because I understand when it comes to media, it's like that's not realistic. Da 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 da. People would act differently. In a show like this, you're creating a very intentional situation and environment that is unlike any other environment anyone has ever fucking been in. You can make it so that it's like, no, like maybe it's like, no, well, they're gonna do the same thing. That's kind of the whole point. Like, these people don't change. And if that's the case, you don't have to make a season 2. Collect your bag, walk away. Like, make the rest of your money off of fucking brand deals and Mr. Beast that wants to make the fucking Squid Game real every other fucking year. Like, you know, if you don't think there's anything more to say, which is the vibe that I get from season 2, then you don't have to tell us that. We get that. We don't need to see it again.
But you know what though? It hurts my heart so badly because I go on Facebook and I see like my family reacting to Squid and they're like, can't wait for season 3, and I'm just like, of course you can't wait for season 3, you fucking pig. Of course you can't wait for it because it's just the same shit again that you saw in season 1. And they're like, and those are the same people that are like, oh, can't wait for the Mulan remake. Can't wait for the Moana remake, even though it hasn't even been 10 years yet, dog. Remake of what?
Literally.
Remake of what?
We remember the first one.
We
were
remember
there.
the people. I was the kid. We don't even have kids yet. It's 10 years later. Not even 10 years later. We don't even have kids yet. At least I don't. Like, what are we doing? Who am I taking this to? I'm just going to see it again. The only reason it's getting made is because The Rock is like, no, it has to get made. No, it has to get made. It has to. Like,
He wants to get paid. Everyone wants to get fucking paid.
Oh my god. I can't.
I people know. Well, maybe
this
people
whole
don't know.
remake culture is just like so. Oh my god! I try to just close my eyes to it. I really do. People are like, "Are you gonna go see the new Snow White?" No. Why would I? Are you gonna go see that? No, I'm not. Mufasa? You think I give a fuck about a live? You think I want to see? Oh my god, the live action Lion King, dog! It is CGI. It is still animated. By all technicalities, you're a dumbass.
The live action Lion King is hilarious. But if the real live action Lion King is the Broadway version of the Lion King.
You want the live action Lion King? Go to Africa, bro. Go to Africa. That's your live action lion. That's as live action as you get.
Safari.
Go on to the safari.
It is. And we haven't talked about this on podcast. Maybe I don't know if we talked about this extensively at all. Like I took a this is gonna sound so pretentious, but like I took like a communications and like media, like an introduction to media class. Fucking fantastic. And it just like it talks about so many of like these things and these themes and like big companies and like bureaucracies as it relates to like media and how it's grown over time. And like it is like it reminded me of just how infuriating it is that remakes are like, because adaptations, I think the nature of the word adaptation, and I think there is a difference like semantically between a remake and an adaptation. The intention of an adaptation is that you're taking something that is in its own traditional format and adjusting it by adding new elements to a new medium. One, so that people that don't subscribe to that original medium can also enjoy it. And two, so that like you can explore new things and new ways of storytelling through this new medium that we couldn't before. And the benefit of part of that is it's even better when you do it more than 10 years apart, because you like the world has changed, things have changed. You can look at it from a new perspective and a new like viewpoint, and like the new generation can like appreciate and expand on that, outside of its original source material. But like most of the things that have been happening is that people are so, and this sounds like such a fucking general thing to say, so I'm not even gonna say all people, but like there are a lot of like people and creators that are wanting to do remakes that are so that feel like their job is to make the exact same thing. And I feel like there's all that, like there's like, I don't know, maybe pressure from the community where like they don't want their thing tainted, like, and so there's so much pressure to just try to make it so exactly like and like as magical or whatever as like that first thing is. And I'm like, I don't understand the motivation to do that. Like it's like surely it sucks the soul out of an actual creator. Like to do that, like I can't imagine that's coming out of the creative department, because I don't think actual creatives would find any joy in that, and that Like this idea that you have to make something that is exactly like the other thing, it has already existed. People can still enjoy it. Like I don't know, it's like this idea of like if we aren't actively enjoying it now in a new format, it has been like left and forgotten in the past, and we can't revisit that at all. It's so I don't understand it either. I'm trying not to be as bad, but it is extremely infuriating. I don't enjoy like remakes like that. I get the hype behind it, but again, it's just like you almost have to be hyped behind it because it's just like, well, it's the thing that I like, but again, so like I am gonna be excited, but it's like it's literally fucking pointless. It's so
Like
pointless. It's millions of dollars in production to make the same fucking thing. That as again, circling back to Squid Game. That's why Squid Game made me so fucking angry.
but it's gonna work. Why should I do anything differently? Why?
Right.
Why I don't get it. But they're gonna pay for it anyway, so why do I care? Like live action Lion King, of course. Why wouldn't I? The first one made almost $1 billion. Like why?
Right. They're definitely gonna do it again.
Obviously, I'm just gonna do it again. And I'm just like, you know, are there Disney movies that could work as a remake? Yes, there are. But Disney's not touching any of those movies. I would actually argue that the Cinderella movie remake, that was like one of the first ones they did.
I remember, yeah.
Was the best remake. Still the best, I think. Still the best. Every other one is just we're gonna do the same exact thing, but in live action. And Lion King is where they go even, but the reason why Lion King doesn't work is one, it's not even fucking live action, and two, there's no way to show expression of a real cat. So we're just looking at a nature documentary and not even Lion King anymore. How do you look at a lion? You realize lions don't have fucking eyelids? Do you realize that? Like they can't even blink, dog. How am I supposed to tell any emotion from a lion that when they have no eyelids? That's why they have because in the animated movie there's this thing that I don't think you guys understand called personification, where we use like human characteristics and put those on animals. That's why Lion King works. If they just animated Lion King and like they animated after them after real lions.
Yeah, what if they were just like real lions, guys? Like wouldn't that be
what if they acted like real lions? Then the first 1989 Lion King wouldn't have worked. Do you understand? Like, do you understand that? But like they're just no.
Nature documentary. They just go out there. It's just a real nature documentary.
It's just a nature documentary. You could have gotten the same exact. I just man, I just don't.
I understand what you mean. It's so like that's also the sadder thing. Like, because there's somewhere it's like they just try to match one for one. It's worse when they especially when they take from animation, because I feel like there's this connotation sometimes that like animation. Like, I think it's also like, this is a good story, but like people that don't like animation or think it's just cartoons or whatever aren't gonna watch it.
Then fuck
so it's
them.
like we have to make it like a drama.
No, guys, we have to appeal to everybody, okay? We have to appeal to everybody. And do you know how many times I've seen this theme play out? If you try, I don't know who you are right now. You are a creator, okay? If you want to write a book, you want to make a show, a movie, I don't care what it is you want to make, you will never appeal to everybody, okay? Do not try. Don't say, no, if I read enough books in this and I get enough experience, then maybe. No, because if you try to appeal to everybody, you will end up appealing to nobody. I've seen it in gaming. I've seen it in movies. I've seen it in shows. It happens constantly. Just make your thing and people will like it. It'd be like if 20 years from now, they were like, we're gonna do a live action Arcane. No, fuck you. Arcane worked.
You just made me so mad. You just made me so mad. I would hate that.
Arcane worked because of what it is. If you could never translate that to.
And again, it's the artistry of it. It's like there's so much artistry in animation that it's like, hey, if people don't like that, like that's fine. Like that's okay. And like there are other like stories like Avatar. There are other stories like, Arcane that exist in live action that are like separate entities that people have created that fit that form. You don't have to be like, this is a great story, we have to like translate it to like live action. And it's like, no, like if people don't like, it's okay if people that don't like animation or just find it difficult to get into never watch Arcane. That is okay. The great thing is that other people will create shit that's good, that's like Arcane in live action. Like we don't have to be like we have to, because then it almost feels like colonizing. And like the way I'm describing it, it really almost feels like you can have your own sort of music, white people. You don't have to take this and then make it white. You can just create music that has
that too. Like,
or just exist in this medium. Like don't take from it, then like add to it.
Like 100 years from now, should we remake Elvis Presley's songs because they're old now? Like, I feel like we're gonna get to a point where we just start remaking dumb shit. Like, not that we're already not, but my thing is, look, okay. So I was actually talking about this today, so it's kind of funny. But one of my coworkers brought this to my attention, and I never thought about it. They said that animation is getting more expensive. So they're pushing live action more because that's the route they want to go. Like, okay, you see Arcane, you see Spider-Man, you see the Ninja Turtles movie, like those movies, like those animated mediums, they're good, but they were expensive to make. And so I don't know why that changes anything because Disney blows $300 million.
Yeah.
Well, first off, I mean, I'm gonna go on a kind of an actor rant for a second. I'm sorry, this is why I don't pay attention to celebrities, because fuck them, most of them, especially Hollywood, especially like actors. I'm sorry, fuck you. You don't need $200 million. You don't need $100 million. In fact, you don't need 25. You don't need 10. $1 million. If I got $1 million in my bank account right now, I could literally just not work. Like, do you like what? Like, if you ask somebody, I feel like maybe someone has done a study on this, but if I were to ask you, Imani, like, you got $1 million right now, what would you buy? And you'd be like, well, I'd buy
with $1 million. Like, it has to be worth $1 million.
No. I'm saying, like, what all would you buy? So, well, I'd get a house. Maybe I'd get a car. All right. And then, look. All right. Now, cool. Now you have, a lot. You still have a lot of money. So, what are you gonna do now? I guess just not work. Just kind of live off that. Maybe invest in something. I mean, what else am I gonna do with $1 million? And that's exactly the point. Because when people start thinking, I mean, what else am I gonna do with this money? They start buying stupid shit. Like, you see those celebrities that have like 10 cars in their garage. Dog, you are one person. What do you need 10 cars for? And not to mention, oh yeah, I bought this, I don't know, Lamborghini, and it goes this fast. I'm like, cool. You'll never be able to drive it that fast because that's the fucking world we live in. Unless you take the car to a racetrack and race it, that's the only way you'll be able to actually use the car. What's the point of buying car A? Oh, because it looks good. Oh my God, it looks good, but it's not gonna go any faster than any other fucking car. So when people ask me, like, I remember Imani asked me this question. She was like, "What's your dream car?" I said, I in nicer terms, I said, Imani, I don't care about cars. I don't. There's a few things I want in a car, yes, but I don't care.
Right.
Like, it's a car that's gonna
It's
get me to the
me from
destination.
A to B,
It's gonna get me from
literally.
A to B. Like, I don't care. So this idea that like, oh no, animation is too expensive. All right, anyways, Rock, for Moana, we're gonna give you $100 million. And then they say, oh, the budget um for the movie was 250 million, and it's like, so the
You're
budget,
giving
it's like
one actor, like,
exactly,
almost, like, half of what it
exactly,
cost to make the fucking movie, and
exactly. I think Red One, The Rock got like 50 million or something like that, or maybe it was 100 million, and the
which
and
is
the budget was 250 million, and like I'm just like,
crazy because the Red One is such a goofy fucking movie. Be serious.
it wasn't a, Rise of the Guardians was better. Be so for real. Rise of the Guardians did it, and it was animated. Sorry,
Oh, yeah,
uh,
probably and you know what's crazy? I should see that movie.
you never seen that movie?
I haven't. I
That
watched
one,
the Red One before I've seen Rise of the Guardians. Isn't that embarrassing?
Rise of the Guardians, 10 times better. Sorry. And it
I'm
came out
sure.
that we've already done it. Like secret organization within the holidays. Good idea. It's
And
already been
I
done.
and
Way better.
that I think the benefit again, like, and I'm like, I don't know much about that movie, but I was like, that was a movie where I saw it and I was like, oh, a little weird, but like, I feel like I very immediately still took it seriously, and I think animation allows you to do some things that might seem goofy as hell, but it be treated seriously.
Yeah.
Like it's again, it's part just comes with the medium. I want so badly to be able to get my family into like animation like so much, but it's like I
I
feel
do
like I'd have to
too.
find something really good that they could latch on to because I feel like it's so hard to get people to like take that seriously and like as a serious story. I don't know. I don't get why.
You know, I almost want to argue that I could get my mom into Arcane.
I think you could. I
I
do.
think I could. I feel like Arcane is enough like
Arcane is one of those things where the
Game of
story is
Thrones.
good enough. Yeah, I think the story is good enough in Arcane that like you and it's not because some animation is like it's good serious story, but it is that's also the thing. Animation makes it easier to play like funny, goofy, and serious, and you can play those like together very easily. I think Arcane takes itself more seriously than some other animation does in a good way, where like because of that, I think it's easier. Whoa, okay, whoa,
Sorry.
nip slip. But like I think it's easier to like get into like as a real drama, you know, because I don't think there's as much like of the funness that comes.
Silly, goofy. Like there's really not.
More adults need to get into silly goofy though. Like I feel like their idea of spicing it up is watching something that has like sex appeal, and I'm like, not everything has to be
Oh,
sexy.
that
Everything's be,
too.
you
That
know.
too, because okay, and my thing, you brought up Avatar: The Last Airbender earlier. I like how we're just talking about remakes in general because we've established that Squid Game season 2 is just a remake.
Is a remake.
Like every character is just a caricature of the characters that
Yeah,
were
the
in season
character
1. It's
before
like,
it.
but you mentioned Avatar: The Last Airbender earlier, and I just want to say, like, when people were hyping it up, I was the only hater, apparently. Everybody else was like, "Oh no, I'm so excited for Avatar: Last Airbender." I think Tyra was telling me that your friends, like when you were still at your school, I'm not gonna dox your school.
Yeah.
When you were still at your school, they asked you, and you were like, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we're so excited!" Like da 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 da. Are you gonna watch it? Like Tyra told me
Wait, for
that
the live action, you
for the
mean?
live action, yeah.
Okay, I thought you were talking about like I was like, what do you mean you were original hater of Avatar:
No, no,
The
no, no,
Last
no.
Airbender?
The live action, I was the original hater. I'm like, there's no point. I was like, here's my thing.
Oh,
Okay, before the show
I
even
had
came
some
out,
friends of it.
I thought to myself, could it work? Yes. Is there a point in it? No. I'm like, listen, you got the rights to Avatar: The Last Airbender, but how about guys? There's comics. Okay, I don't know if you know this, but there are comics that take place after the show. So instead of just remaking the same fucking show, how about expanding the story? And
Kind of
then
like Legend of Korra almost, you
it's like
know?
the Legend of, like there's literally like Legend of Korra does a lot of setup with like it talks about like adult Aang. You know what would have been a really good show for live action? An
Where's
adult.
the gang now?
Where's the gang now? An adult Avatar: The Last Airbender, where we're following Sokka and Katara and Aang and Zuko and Toph in a new, like, they're adults. You could take it more in a more mature way. It would really benefit from the live action. I mean, I would still want it animated, but fucking whatever at this point. Like, at least we're getting new Avatar stuff. Like, you could get something from that. But no. Why would we try something different? If we just remake the same show and then we just put our own shitty ideas into the live action, then people will watch it because it's the same show when people are fucking pay pigs. Like,
I will say a thing about in terms of like remakes and stuff like that. I do think like now that I have like some ability to think on it without the like opinion of other people, and it's a personal opinion. I won't claim that anyone else agrees, but like I do think I enjoy like an aged up like sequel to a previous show. Cause like I'm thinking of a couple like iCarly. Like fair. I think people being like, "Why the fuck are you like remaking iCarly when like now
I
Carly's
didn't
like
watch
a
the new
grown
iCarly.
woman?"
I'm still interested, but I didn't watch it. Was it good?
That's fair. It is like yeah, I think well the original iCarly is is good. It's got
Obviously,
a
yeah.
good concept, but like I watched like clips here and there, and I thought it would be like really like but it is again it like takes on a more mature theme of itself. It's not like the silly goofy of the kids as you expect, and it's like not all the cast is there, but there's new cast in it. It's still like a Disney type show, but I think like it is literally the fun to see how characters change and like how their personalities as a kid grow into like adulthood and how they keep that and like change that. I really think I am like, oh no, like I like this. Like it is a rendition of the thing you liked, but like it's grown with you. Oh, that's it. That's literally like you don't like I feel like a good if you're so like itching to like have this thing that you had as a kid again.
Oh my
Like
god.
people like have the characters grow as the kids that or the people that like that show have grown.
Yes,
Like
Imani. Yes.
that's people are so like that was the thing that I took away a lot like studying any bits of media. It's like we've slowed like since the 2000s we've like the change in like landscape of like exploring new genres and new films and medium whatever and music has slowed down so much, and I am terrified like you said like we're going to get to a point in the near future where like almost all of the movies that are big and popular are remakes of something we already know.
Yes, Imani. Okay. You brought up something that I have to touch on. Okay. Aging up.
Mm.
I can hear myself in your mic. Oh, now I can't. I don't know how that happens. Like sometimes, whatever.
Woodcraft.
Let's just go with it, I guess. So the original God of War games, right, came out in like early 2000s, right?
Mm.
I'm not gonna name them because I don't remember how many there are. I think there's like 4 or 5. I don't remember, but they anyways. Then God of War 2018 came out, right? And Kratos had a son, and a lot of people who played the games growing up now have kids, and they're like, they feel like they've grown up with the character. They're like, yeah, I'm playing the game, and I now have my own kids. I watch my aunt.
Don't have kids.
No. I watch my aunt play the original games.
That's fucking adorable.
Well,
just a shout out. I watched my brother play the original games.
I watched my aunt play the original game. My great aunt. She passed away before she could. 1 year after God of War 2018 came out. But the only reason I played God of War was because I remember I didn't know anything about Kratos, really. I ain't gonna lie to you. But all I knew was that my aunt liked the game. And so I played it. And I loved it. Because although I didn't grow up with the original games, and I don't have kids now, I'm somewhere in this gray area where I can relate to Atreus but I'm also building myself up, preparing myself for potentially having children or something like that. So I can relate to both Kratos and Atreus, you know? So the developers wanted a new story, but they didn't just remake the old games, they continued the story. So why can we not just continue to do that? I don't understand. You realize you would get the same effect if you said if they announced a live action Avatar Last Airbender show and they said, yeah, it's based on Avatar Last Airbender. It's gonna take place I don't know, 5 years. No, I don't how old is Aang? He was 12.
Yeah,
It's gonna
something like
take
that.
place maybe in Aang's early 20s. So it's gonna take place 10 years later. You know, Aang is still wrestling with how to form Republic City. Like maybe it's not made yet or anything like that, and all that sort of stuff. All that stuff
Yeah,
happens, right?
be awesome.
It'd be pretty cool, right?
Yeah,
And
like,
guess what?
there's an incentive there outside of just, like, nostalgia for me.
And guess what? You get the same amount of money if you were to just remake it. And like I said, there's comics. So like here, I'm sorry, like a lot of I just want to flex on Japan real quick, or flex with Japan real quick.
Yeah, flex on Japan.
No. I just want to flex with Japan real quick. Flex on Western media because
Yeah.
Japan, they get a manga and they do not deviate from that shit.
They fucking
They do
don't.
not. They're like, we get it, dog.
If they do, I promise, hand on the Bible, a white man had something to do with it. I swear.
If they do,
Or like Netflix or some shit.
if they do,
Something
it's
else.
like adding in like a couple more frames or like an action scene, like something like that. Or if they do go just like Promise Neverland route, no one
Right.
likes it.
Exactly.
So there's literally so many rare examples. There are rare examples where they don't follow a manga to a T because they know that the manga is good for a reason. So we don't need to do anything. We literally have the plot right here.
Exactly.
Just make it. That's it. Just animate it. That is it. There's nothing, there's no further you have to go with it. They like it, make it. That's it. So
And it's a very, like, strict, like, one-to-one, like, I almost see it as, like, a continuation process of, like, the overall creative process of a manga. Like, if it's, like, you're creating a manga and it's someone's like, "Oh, we should, this should be we want to make sure this is adapted to an anime," like, that still feels like the same process moving in the same, like, direction as the manga. Like, to me, those things feel so, like, one-to-one, like, it's never like a pop-up 7 years later, like, "We're gonna make an anime of it," or it's not like it doesn't feel out of the blue, it feels like something that, like, we expect to happen and is treated with a sense of, like, "Oh, this is it within the same creative process," I guess, of, like, the manga. I am saying all that, I don't know where you're going with this, I just cut you
oh
off to be
no.
like, "Yeah,
Yeah, he's cooking.
I
I
agree
think
with whatever you're about to say."
he's
I don't know.
let him cook. No. No, but my point was Western media doesn't do that. Do you know how many like we've at this point where we have so many remakes. We have so many like not just remakes, but like rehashed ideas. Like, do you know? Like, and somehow, like, we have Hollywood scratching their head. They're like, Game of Thrones was popular. They adapted the show. Game of Thrones is over. Oh, I got it. Okay, I got you. We need to find another fantasy and make our own Game of Thrones to make more money. No. How about just adapting the fantasy book? Because there's fans that like that book. And so if you just adapt that, people will watch it. No. We have to make our own Game of Thrones. Oh my fucking God. And Japan doesn't do that. Japan doesn't do that. Okay? They see a manga, they're like, I got you. That's why if you go on Crunchyroll, honestly, I'm more overwhelmed by Crunchyroll or just anime in general because it's like there's just so much stuff.
It's like every book is an anime.
Guys,
Like
Yeah, I don't
That's like
think
the sort
every
of like thing I
manga,
want.
every anime you see is either a manga, a light novel, or a web comic. Like
Literally.
I
It's like impressive, like it's a level I don't know, and I'm just so curious like what it is and like how that's come about. Like what did anime even look like anything before manga was like really popularized? Like how long did manga exist as like a medium
I don't know.
before
I would
anime
love to
really
research
came in?
that. I don't know. I
Right? I'm
wonder.
just like, because what did that I feel like the media age that we grew up in is so film heavy. Like I feel like that was really like a sense of glory days. Like a lot of our glory is associated with like movie stars. Like I feel like that's a thing. TV is popular, books are popular, but like they have their niches a lot more. Movies, I feel like they used to be nicher back in the day and people were really into that, but I feel like now I feel like people that might be into movies are like there's a specific I don't know how to describe it. Like there's just a very specific tract that they want to shuffle people into when it comes to like getting into movie as a medium. Like it feels like a now it feels more like a derivative of other things where like they originally come from. I don't know. It's hard to describe the differences. It's hard to describe to me the different like why and what makes like that process in Japan so much different than how I feel like it is here.
Yeah. I just here's my thing though. Just trying to finish the Avatar portion of the conversation.
Yeah.
Um,
The Avatar portion of the conversation is never truly done.
it's never truly done. Avatar, the last like the remake, or sorry, the live action, whatever you want to call it. It's a remake.
Mm.
First off, M. Night Shyamalan's movie doesn't exist. I don't know what you're talking about. That man, honestly, even if that man makes a good movie nowadays, I'm just like, I don't care.
Did
You,
he make a what did he do?
he made the last Airbender movie.
M. Night Shyamalan made that?
Yep, he sure did. I'm not gonna lie, that trailer hit. When I saw that trailer for Last Airbender, I was like, dang, the movie was. You know
I
that.
think I thought M. Night Shyamalan was a white man for the longest time.
No,
And knowing that
when
he
the
was
last
born
name
in
like
America.
Shyamalan is funny. Yeah.
See, I just thought it was like a pseudonym.
Oh yeah,
But
fair enough.
honestly, he's giving American though. You know what I mean?
But just a little quick story. Sorry, I know I go on tangents when I'm trying to get to a point, but I
Well, no,
promise.
you were talking and then I cut you off.
I
So
know,
it's
no, no. I know I go on tangents. I'm just saying, like I'm telling our audience, like I know I go on tangents sometimes, but I promise this tangent is still related to Avatar. The Last Airbender by M. Night Shyamalan, guys, was the first time I was 9 years old when that movie came out. That movie was the first time I walked out of a theater and thought to myself, movies can be bad.
oh my God.
I'm like, wait, so people don't just make good stuff? Like there can be bad movies? Like it literally woke up my kid brain. Like I like it like before that, I watched so many different movies that I was just like, oh my god. I just watched like up until that point, I just played games that were good. I watched movies that were good. There was never a point where I was like, dang, this is bad. But the Last Airbender was the first time I was just like, I, that wasn't a good movie. Like at all. Like not even a little bit. Like that's crazy.
He made a movie so bad, a 9-year-old was like, "So things can be, like, not good?"
Like
Oh,
things, no,
no.
really. I'm like, things can be shitty. Huh. That's crazy.
Oh,
But anyways,
so
to
fucking funny.
finally finish my point, I think because okay, when the Last Airbender live action remake was being made and they were saying all these changes they were making to it, like Sokka's, no longer gonna be sexist.
And
Katara,
also his name is supposed to be Sokka,
yeah,
actually.
yeah, yeah, and Katara is not gonna um have any struggles because we can't show women as struggle. Women don't struggle, okay? Women are strong just like men, and that's why we love them. Anyways, Aang actually always wanted to be the Avatar. Even though that's a big central point of his character, he always wanted to be the Avatar. We're changing that. Um, yeah. Sorry. A lot of shows do this nowadays, right? Where they take something and then everybody wants to put their shitty ideas into it. Like they're like, no, 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 no. Sokka can't be this because da da da. And then they're like, oh, you're right. Sokka can't be sexist. All right, we'll just take that out. Like they want to go on all these different things, but I'm just like, here's the thing. And maybe if this was the route that it was going anyways, it would have been bad anyways. But here's the thing. If you took the comics, right? All right. You took the adult characters of these people. There's comics of what happens after the show, but there's not enough context to be like, this is what happens one for one for one for one. Like, we don't know everything.
Right.
There could be some room to add different characters, to add whatever you want. And it wouldn't step on anybody's toes. Why do we have to step on people's toes? I don't understand why remaking something translates to shitting on the original. Like I don't get that. I just don't. Like it makes no sense to me. Like oh. And what were you gonna say, Money?
No, I was gonna say you're making such good points, and I think I'm identifying two major problems with like how people change remakes. One is there's always a sense of being rushed. Like there's always like because I feel like part of what you could attribute to like Aang always wanted to be the Avatar. Katara doesn't struggle. Sokka isn't like sexist. Like I was about to say Sokka isn't racist, and I'm like, hey, I don't know. But like those are things that would take too much time to develop in these characters. And I also think it's with the assumption of like again, it's it you don't I think maybe they don't realize how much they are already nuking themselves from the start to start thinking of these characters as people that already exist that they have to change. Like cuz in some way okay, but like if you're telling us that these are the same characters, that has to be the same. What you're changing is like other things, side characters, environments, plots, like that can all change, but it's like if the intention is to take from a thing, the one thing that's going to be
Oh,
probably the
sorry.
same is the core of the characters. Like so why is that always the first thing that feels like it's like we need to tweak that? It's like those like unless like they are like new characters with different like same name, but it's like a new like in terms of universe, whatever. It's like okay, but I'm like that. Why is that the thing that it's like we can save time because there's a rush. I feel like there's always a rush
Because
to it. Like,
Imani, we live in a day and age where people are so consumed by TikTok, they can't sit through development. They can't sit through character growth. Imani, are you stupid? Wait, what? No, we have to already be there. And there needs to be action every episode or some flashy something because this is the day we live in. Like people can't watch 10 like my parents can't sit down and watch a movie without pulling out their phone. They're like, well, this movie's boring. I'm like, it's called build up. It's called build up. Like I remember Imani, we were watching Guardians of the Galaxy and my mom was like, this movie's kind of long, isn't it? I'm like, before like, the modern age that we live in, movies used to be like 2 hours, like they used to take their time and develop stuff. Now we get into a day and age where movies are shorter, like an hour and 30 minutes, an hour and 25, 20, 15. It's just like, it's not even really a movie anymore. But, and my mom's just like, well, maybe they can just tell a faster story. I'm like, or, how about that? Hey, hang on. How about they're just making sure they tell a good story? Right? I know. I'm sorry. That was so crazy of me. I'm sorry.
crazy.
That was an insane.
Don't ever say that to me
idea. Like oh, this movie's kind of long, and I'm like, shut. Oh, sorry. No, but they said the same thing with Guardians of the Galaxy and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and I'm just like, I can't watch movies with y'all. I really can't. Like there's a
Across the Spider-Verse had me in my fucking seat, edge of my seat. I was like,
that's what I'm saying. Also, I think
that's went, and we were like, it's done already. Like,
also, I think, not gonna lie to you, I think Arcane and the Spider-Man movies, I think they kind of understand the day and age you live in with like TikTok and everything. I think those movies are perfect for like the TikTok brain rot era that we're in. Because I'm
Big
like,
colors, they're like, "Let's
big
go,
colors,
let's
let's
get
go, we're
this."
moving. Hey, that was a joke. All right, anyways, here we are now. We're fighting. What? Okay. No, we're not anymore. We're sad. What? Okay. What? Like, that's
I
just
think so too. I think it's a mastery of craft in some ways. I think, like, I would love to slow down at some point. Again, that's the thing that's beauty about TV too, like, you can take the next season and slow down if you wanted to, you know? Like, you can take the next project and slow down if you wanted to. But I think that is it. I'm like, they and oh my god, again, it's like the thing with what was I gonna call it, Miles Morales? And I'm like, that's not what it's called. Wait, what is it called?
Spider Verse,
Spider. But no, but like, what's it actually called?
Across the Spider Verse,
No, but what's the first movie called?
Into the Spider Verse.
Is it actually?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why in my brain I'm like,
The
that's
w- the
no,
way
it's
the
called
way
something Morales.
the second
It's
movie was
called,
just so much more impactful for you, Imani, that you were just like, no, no, no.
oh,
The
wow,
first
no,
movie was
really,
great. I
no,
just don't
the
remember
real
the name
name,
of it. Yeah, yeah.
right? But I was gonna say, like, and again, I think that's a I I again, I feel I don't know what the lesson is, but like Spider-Man and all the renditions of Spider-Man have been told a million fucking times.
And so the way
A
they go about it in the beginning
million.
of this movie, great.
Exactly.
They
Like,
make fun of it. Thank you. Like,
it's literally like it like to be able to like I'm like people that want to make remakes adaptations, take a second, watch Intro to the Spider-Verse. Because you will learn what will grip people outside of the core of things that they already know. Because it's a balance of like Miles Morales is a new character in a world that is like familiar to us, but we are seeing in a new way through a new lens, but it's still with the morals and motivations that exist in every single character we've seen thus far, and every Spider-Man that has existed. Like, I don't exactly know how to articulate it, but it's like it's such again, it's like the makeup of a character sort of thing where like we've seen Miles Morales, we've seen Spider-Man as a character before. We don't have to like, and they don't at all rush his growth. He kind of sucks for most of the fucking movie. Like, it's but like again they expand it where they're like, but we have other characters that show different levels of like where Spider-Man has been in his journey that add different like dynamics and layers to it. And again, that's what I'm saying. I feel like people that make remakes are quick to like rush through the development of a character or tweak it in some way that like maybe intentionally or unintentionally changes the thing that we liked about that character, but it like convinces us that this is like the starting point of their story, even though we know it's not. Like the development has gone way back to the story that we've already known. And you're both simultaneously trying to convince us in this new project that this is the first time we're seeing this character in this universe. This is the first time you're getting this story, while also making it very clear on another layer that it's like, but you've seen this story before, and you kind of can't do that. Like you you like in some way in your work, it has to acknowledge that like this has been seen before in a way that doesn't like compromise the fact that you're seeing it again. Like, and I think Into the Spider Verse does a pretty good job with that. Might not be perfect, honestly. I'm not giving it like all the praise, but like I think that is a balance that they suck at for the most part.
I wouldn't say. See, the only problem with Spider Verse is that I wouldn't say that. Honestly, that's not even the direction. I would just say the sound design wasn't good, at least in the theater.
Yeah.
Like, I had a hard time hearing what the hell was happening. Like, it sounded like people were whispering in that movie. Like they had to
Where
send
did
out
you see it? I think about the second movie or the first.
the second movie. I think the first movie was
Dude,
great.
Dude, this I was gonna say though, the second movie, because it was probably my first time like, and I don't see a lot of movies in like local theaters, and that's honestly just because I don't watch a lot of movies in general, so I'm like used to going to like the AMC's and whatever. But I went to watch it for the first time with a couple of friends, that were in like my university town, and like there was a local theater there, and we went to watch it, and like it was like I was like, oh, I can't hear anything. Like it's too loud at some parts, way too quiet at some parts.
Yeah,
I
and
watched it
then like
again.
I heard a joke, and I'm like, was that I don't know what she said. Like in the final line
Well, I
where
couldn't hear it Hobie at all. And the entire time Hobie was talking, I was like, "I need subtitles. I
look,
cannot
the
understand this
final
man."
line where Gwen is like, "So I got a new band to join me," and then she said the music goes, dun dun dun. What did she say? And then
She's still
credits,
talking.
and you're just like, what did she say though? I went to rewatch the movie, and she's like you, and she says you want in, and I'm like, oh, that's what she said. I don't know. I didn't get that. Yeah, that was my only gripe. I mean,
Yeah.
also, I guess a lot of people want to complain that the movie was unfinished, and so for that reason, it's bad. I think you guys should shut the fuck up because,
Well,
here's my thing, right? If we keep berating people for not finishing a story, well, first off, with Squid Game, he doesn't have a story, so he just cut off the story because he wanted to make more money. Sorry, I'm just throwing that out there. But with the case,
his shit, the last episode feels like me writing like a draft for a story.
it's
It's like if I use my first draft.
the book reads like if like here's the book reads like or sorry, the show reads like this, like a book. Like if you got to this part of the book, you still have this much left, and you're just like, all right, and that's
All
all.
right.
That's all we're gonna like. Like your
That's pretty
teachers
good.
look. The teacher's reading the book to you in class, and they're like, all right, and that's where we're gonna end for the day. And then you don't touch the book for another 6 months before you like, what happened? Oh, okay, that's what happened again. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish.
I was
Okay,
gonna
okay,
say
okay.
at least Gwen at least started and finished the fucking act. Like she at least came introduced us and she was like, "All right, we're done for now. And do you want to come in for the next part?" And I'm like, "All right, girly, for sure." It came left me in the cold dirt.
Oh yeah,
My
I don't know.
kidney was gone. I didn't know where it was.
They say unfinished, but it was kind of just a cliffhanger, guys. Like they already said another movie was coming. I don't understand how unfinished means. I don't know. I don't understand how cliffhanger means unfinished, especially if they said another movie is coming. Like I don't.
I mean, I
Of
get it,
course,
like,
the movie is
cause like
like if you watch the ending of a season and you're like, no, it's unfinished. I'm like, obviously, this is a show. Like
I
what?
get it in the sense where like there was a lot of immediate stuff that felt it was very like show like, like where it's like there was immediate stuff where it's like, oh, what's gonna happen? Like I think with movies they're like we're wrapped up.
Yeah.
Are we? But I'm like this one was like very much like we're like we're not done, but we're getting ready for the next part. But again, I don't think I think it was frustrating because they're like people are it's frustrating because people are eager to get to the next part. It's not like frustrating because I feel like I was abandoned. Like
Right.
I don't feel like I was abandoned.
Like okay, Infinity War. If okay, first I'm just gonna say this: Infinity War was the greatest experience I've ever had in a theater.
It was
Like
fucking
Endgame
awesome.
was great too, but Infinity War was so good. Like you could never repeat how that movie felt. The
And they could have
entire
fucked it up in a lot of different ways. Like
the entire
they fucked it up easy.
theater, the entire auditorium was dead silent as everybody was vanishing. It was so beautiful. Like it was just so insane to me, like how good that was. And I don't see anybody being pissed about that, by the way. Just throwing that out there. Everybody's pissed
Yeah,
about Spider-Man. I don't see anybody being pissed about the fact that Infinity War left out on one of the biggest cliffhangers in cinema history,
literally.
killing off every character, every beloved character, and being like, I don't know, will we be back?
Exactly.
I don't know. Are they dead? I don't know. Like, but whatever. Like,
Oh man, you're gonna make me cry again. I'm just thinking about Mr. Stark. I don't feel so
no,
good.
it's just so
Oh
good.
man.
Man. Like, I'm sorry. I don't know if the MCU can top Infinity Saga. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. The new movie's coming out, and we will be talking about it when it comes out. I'm excited for it, but
I'm giving it
you know,
benefit of the doubt, kind of. I'm moving in with no expectations. The last Marvel movie that like moved me was you know which one I'm thinking of. So I think it was their last good one.
Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy. But
Yeah.
that's James Gunn though. Like that's the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, because wait, the director, I think it was the same director that did the show, but you didn't like the show. Or you
what
thought,
what show?
The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I thought it was the same writer or director that
James
was
Gunn?
working on the movie. No, for the I'm saying for the new Captain America coming out.
Oh,
Thinking about who made that. I think it might be the
okay.
same writer or
But
director that worked on the show.
okay, but guys, listen. I have another. We're just going through all our rants right now, I guess.
Well, let's cap it at 10 more minutes.
Yeah. I'm not. Well, I'm not gonna. I'm not. I'm just gonna explain what Imani means by that.
Oh, yeah.
Every Disney show, sorry, every one of these MCU shows are just stretched out movies. That is my take on all of these, except maybe Loki is kind of no. I would say Loki is kind of too.
Loki is a stretched out movie. Have you because did you watch season 2
I
or
didn't
no?
watch season 2.
You have to watch season 2.
I'm just
Oh,
not
we haven't talked
interested.
about Loki on here. Season 2 of Loki fucking slaps. I cried too at that fucking thing.
Just
And if you watch season 2, it took them 2 seasons, which I respect. Let your arcs take 2 seasons. That's okay. It was an
hey,
extended one.
Arcane. Let your art take 3 seasons. All right.
Honestly, yeah, bitch, you need it.
Or 2
You got
seasons
hella
with more episodes. That's all I'm saying. All right. Anyways, Squid Game creator, stop. I'm sorry. I need to stop. I need to stop. I just keep taking shots at this man.
shots at this man.
Poor guy. Listen, no. Okay.
I'm hoping he's rich and he's like whatever.
Let me.
I'm hoping he's wealthy and he's like.
If we don't say anything about Squid Game, I just need this to be said. Okay. I can respect that the man wanted to make a story, and he had his dream come true. Every creator wants their dream to come true. They want somebody to pick up their idea and run with it. And I can respect that you were able to get that dream fulfilled. I can respect what you did. It didn't work for me, and I think it could have been even better. Sometimes people have good ideas, but they're not a writer or a director or a producer. Sometimes they're just the guy that sits in the back of the studio and they're just like, yeah, I was thinking for this scene that he would like shoot him or something. Yeah. Oh, and then right there, like, what if the character like, no, you don't, that wouldn't work. Yeah, for sure, yeah. Like, that's the only way. Like, sometimes that's it. Whatever. Anyways,
That's fair.
MCU shows are stretched out movies. Moon Knight. I was telling Imani about this the other night. We weren't on the podcast, but I said this, and so I'll just say it again. Moon Knight is not good. Most of these shows are not good. I'm like, that's just my opinion.
Disagree, but it's okay.
Most of these shows are not good. Moon Knight has good parts. Like episode 5, goated. Loved it. A great depiction of what it's like to have DID. Great stuff. Loved it. Love it. I love it. I really do. The rest of the show, not good. Kind of boring as fuck. I'm not gonna lie. But every time we're with Steven and no, sorry, I'm just gonna say the actor's name. Every time we're with Oscar Isaac.
That's actually the system is technically called Oscar Isaac collectively.
Yeah.
Mark, Steven, and Jake are actually collectively called Oscar Isaac.
Yeah. Anytime we're with Oscar Isaac, I'm like, fuck yeah, dog. Yeah. I love Oscar Isaac. But anytime there's any kind of character, every time I think about saying something to you, Imani, like your mic stops picking me up. I just don't get it.
I'm sorry.
Every time I think about saying something, I literally stop, speak again, and it's like, nope, nothing. And I'm like, what the? Anyways,
You're crazy, Jalen.
like I'm just, yeah, I guess. We only get out of the 6 episodes, we only get like 10 minutes of Moon Knight. Someone has done the math. They've counted up all the times we actually have Moon Knight on the screen, and it is 10 minutes. Okay, out of
They
like
really fast forward through the scenes.
out of like
In the
40 minutes episodes.
last
And for whatever reason, they think that fading to black, like, what happened is somehow good action. It was good. But for the finale of the season, dog, we're fighting the big bad. How did you beat him? I didn't beat
I
him. Did
guess we
you?
won, I don't
I
know.
guess we. What? How did you beat him? I didn't beat him. Did you beat him? I didn't beat him. What the heck? Like how?
I
And
think they also think we're a little stupid. Just like if I didn't look up the fact that Jake Lockley was at like a third altar, I literally would have like I kind of feel like I would have picked it up by then. And then I would be holistically distracted by the fact that we haven't addressed it yet. I'm like,
like, how
no one's gonna
can
say
this man?
anything.
And don't give me no damn. Oh, it's just so deep in his psyche that he would have never been able to know. Like, how can they? First off, Mark and Steven, they both saw the casket. They saw
The
Steven.
sarcophagus.
Sorry,
Sarcophagus.
yeah, sarcophagus. They saw Steven come out of one of those,
I'm
right?
gonna have to- Yeah.
Was it a sarcophagus he came out? I don't remember.
Yeah, wait, I'm gonna
Anyways,
look it up while you keep talking.
my point is they found Steven in one room, right? And they know to some capacity this is their mind. So why would the two of them not open this other? Oh, because we have to set up for another season, guys. People can't make logical decisions. Not when we have to have something for the somewhere for the show to go if we do have a second season.
Dude, you can make up that shit. That's what everyone does. You can make more plot. It's possible. Like again from a okay, barely like not as speaking as a professional at all. Speaking as someone that like has known a person, that has DAD and just like from a humanistic point of view, like you're dealing with a character that is just finding out like on a system level because one person one alter knowing that they have DID and even then not fully accepting that and seeking help for it is a very different thing than like an entire system realizing that they have DAD. Like there's and then also that they're a superhero and that they've been operating in different like aspects of this one body that they have. Like hey man, you could have told us that Jake Lockley existed like halfway through. I promise you there would have been only up to go plot wise. There's so much more you can explore. I promise you. Especially considering like Jalen said there was not a lot of action in the show, frankly.
It was
That's
just a
why
lot of talking.
I just feel like I was watching a drama. I was like,
Also, with
just
all
you.
these shows, it's like Disney's like, Disney, you make bank. You have so much money, and yet Disney is still so fucking stingy. They're like, no, you only get 6 episodes. Yeah, I want you to make this and okay, the fault isn't just in Disney, but Disney only giving them 6 episodes is crazy. Um, if you only have 6 episodes to work, then you have just write a story that works in those 6 episodes. Don't be like, oh no, don't write 5 good episodes and then just be like, oh fuck, and then this happens and this and we're done. Season 2,
It and I
like,
you know what I think I'm starting to see also the issue. I feel like I see the industry in these shows now. Like I don't just see the show and the world that's been built and that story. I'm starting to see like they maybe made that decision because like they didn't have a lot of time and it was either like make this work or you're not getting the show at all or like maybe they weren't getting compensated the way that they should have been to be able to make this ideal work, or they were stressing, thinking like, what if this doesn't sell and then I'll never get another opportunity? Like, I feel like it's not just a pure like, oh, a matter of talent or whatever, your ability to tell a story. Like, I feel like part of these conversations we're having are related to like what this sphere looks like now for creatives in terms of media, like TV and like film and TV. Like, I feel like now it's just I'm seeing in the show, like zooming out and seeing the pressure and the anxiety of the industry that they're getting that's inhibiting their ability to just tell the story, you know? And I think that you're right. Like, that could just be a really big part of it, especially when you're working with such a gigantic organization like Disney. It's like they have the money. They're probably not giving the vibe that the creators also have that money. They're like, we have the money. So you're going to make this work based on our standards, based on what we want you to do. It's
Like,
really
I
shitty.
just wish, because I don't know, like I keep trying to compare to what like Japan does, because I'm just like, it's just so much better. Like,
Streamlined, if anything.
hey, guess what? You know what? I got the perfect example for you. Peaky Blinders. Every season has 6 episodes, and guess what? They write
Only
a
6 episodes?
exactly right,
Did not
but
know that.
they're 1 hour. They're each 1 hour episodes, and they guess what? They don't go and then we're gonna rush this, and then fuck, and then we're done. No, guess what, guys? I know it's this crazy concept. I know they write a season. They write the plot around those 6 episodes, right? And then right, they craft it, right, because they know they only have 6 episodes, so they don't rush anything. They just give everything enough time as needed. I almost wonder, we're not gonna go on another arcane rant, but I almost wonder if Netflix was like, you only have 9 episodes. Or maybe they were just like, we want to put a perfect label on this. Like, we had one season that was 9 episodes. The second season, we
Like 3
got
arcs. Like, you
three
only
arcs.
have 3 arcs. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if they would, either Netflix told them to, or if it was just some kind of perfectionist thing. Like, no, we gotta try to make this. We can do 9 episodes. Like, if we cut this and this and this and this, like, yeah, like, if we tell the story in a more stylized way, then they won't realize we're rushing so much. We realized, but it's okay. Like, the show is still overall good, but like,
Yeah.
know.
Exactly. Like, you don't want to have like that. And again, my last point that I'm gonna make, and then we should probably wrap up, is I think all of this just motivates me again to really do my best to like engage in really small local forms of like entertainment media in storytelling. Like, there over the last year, I feel like I've really understood like all the different ways online and like in person in which not like stories are being told, and we get the fun thrills of like being in on a story like regardless of the medium it's being told in. Like, I like last year I listened to like a dramatic podcast, which is just like, story, no visuals, but it's all like sound design and like plot and like, and like narration. And there's another one that I really want to get into called the Magnus Archives that I've heard of, but that seems really popular. Last one was called Forest 404. This is my recommendation list. Stop giving money to Hollywood. Listen to Forest 404. Go look at the read Marvel comics. Like, let's go back to like go on Webtoon, Like, there are so many small forms. Go listen to all 5 to 7 hours of Who the Fuck Did I Marry on TikTok. All right. Like, there are so many forms of storytelling that like reveal such brilliant, beautiful things. And like, go back to the source material that they're taking from and butchering, Like, because it's not like, if you don't watch the new thing on Netflix, I promise you there's so many other ways to get media. And I'm telling that to myself too. Like, it really isn't like this is our only way. There there's so many other mediums out there to how stories can be told. And like, if you're used to like film and television, like, branch out, try some new stuff. There's a lot. Like, go on Reddit. Listen to Smosh Reddit stories. It's a thrilling experience as
Imani
well,
was literally
Like,
listening to it like as we were starting.
I was
Kind
listening to it when I was cooking. It was
kind
crazy last
of
episode.
kind of fake if you think about it, because like, like, we're really like gonna record a podcast and she's like over here giving her view to another. Just saying. But
Hello,
anyway.
crazy. I actually commented on the last one because I disagreed with their opinion of it, and then they finished reading the story, and I was
Oh,
like, I immediately deleted it because I was like, they're right. Never mind.
I would love. Oh wait, like you made a comment,
Yeah,
like you
I wrote a
disagree with
comment
them, and
on.
then they finished the story, and then you agreed with them, or
Yeah, like there was an update that added clarification, and I
oh,
was like, okay. I was like, you guys should get divorced. This is a red flag. And then I was like, this actually
oh,
might just
I
be
know what you're
okay.
talking about. I thought that was also insane.
Right? Okay.
Them be yeah no. I'm sorry. This is we're gonna go on another podcast rant. Them being okay with the idea of that guy calling her trash and other stuff like that. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, yeah. In the bedroom,
I'm just like, honestly, even after the update, I was still like, no, I don't get it.
it's
If I found out that my partner was calling me a bitch ass nigga, like in a different language,
yeah, you like that, you bitch ass nigga eating all
like
the fucking
yeah,
peanut butter out of the
how dare you,
fridge.
you see, like some of it is like funny, but then other stuff is like, oh, you're fucking stupid. Like, yeah, you're stupid. You're obnoxious. God, I hate when you breathe. Like, oh my God. And it's just like, no, some of that stuff. No, that's a divorce,
And again, I know like a lot of it wasn't
or at
that.
least
It
a
sounded like it
good
wasn't.
conversation.
I was gonna say I kind of changed my mind on it because I was like, okay, it sounds like these are things that they've talked about before. Like it's just like a like it's not like something like she never knew that he was upset about before. Like I'm like, okay, like it's at this point, like I'm assuming it's stuff that's like lighthearted. That's like, oh, well, I can't help that, and it's like, oh, it doesn't bother me that much, but it's like, oh, you stomp around in the morning. Da, da, da. I think it makes more. Maybe it's like a dirty talk, like a oh, I want you to be kind of mean to me. And he's like, oh, I'm gonna be mean to you like in French, you know? And it's like, oh, I hate the way you take the Nutella. Like,
Yeah,
cause then I'm like,
if there was some
okay.
communication behind it, yeah, yeah, I
Yeah, yeah,
agree.
yeah. Like, but if it's just like you think he's being like, ah, mi amor.
Mi
I don't
amor.
I don't know how to say that in French.
Ah,
Or
merci
like,
beaucoup. That's all
was it
my.
Margot? Yeah, Gracias. Not salut. I think that means I'm not gonna
That
pretend I remember
means
French.
hello.
Yeah, so but, like, that is, like if she thinks he's saying whatever stuff and he's not. But I also had a problem with her. I was like, if your partner speaks, like, predominantly speaks another language and, like, speaks it in the house, and you don't tell them that you can understand them now, that is a little weird. I I guess it to me, it's the equivalent of being like, "Oh, well, I don't have to tell him because he's not hiding anything from me, right?" And it's like, that's the logic of being like, "Yeah, just give me your phone password because you're not gonna hide anything from me anyway, so why not just have it, just for fun?"
I
And I'm
don't
like,
know, man. My dream is to know a
I don't
language,
know.
and then like just be amongst the people. And if I hear them start talking about me, I can just be like, "Oh yeah, well guess what? I heard every word you said because I understand your language fully. Yep. And how about you stop calling me that or something like that? Like, and there's
And I would actually
oh
appreciate if you stopped calling me a monkey. Thank you so
oh
much.
shoot, like yeah. But
I I I kind of think that's a very white person thing to think. I'll be honest.
what
I
dream?
don't speak another language. I think that's I think that like people will make that joke a lot, and it comes up in like shows of being like, oh, we didn't know he spoke Chinese or da da da, and it's like I think that's fair, but I also feel like, hey, man, a language can be a very comforting, sacred thing when you're in a country that predominantly speaks like English or something else. And like, I don't think you should shit talk anyone, but I do think it's like, I'm like, actively putting someone in a gotcha situation in which you're gonna catch them saying something
No, I
crazy.
wouldn't actually do the gotcha. I do think though, I do think that I would still like it's kind of like a like choose your own battles kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
now you know how they're talking about you. Now like you know how to gauge the
Oh,
situation. Like I wouldn't
yeah. Like in
actually
that case,
like
if you stumbled upon it and it's like, oh well, I have the tools in which I can also talk back to them. Like, yeah. But if it's like a Hey, my name's Ryder Driver, and today we're gonna go into this Chinese restaurant, and they don't know that I speak Chinese, and we're gonna see what kind of crazy stuff they're saying about us. I'm like, that
Yeah,
kind of like
there's
instigates
actually a
this
you.
like
I was actually just
secretive
watching
like
a YouTube
the
video like that.
immigrants are talking about us behind their backs, and it's like
Yeah.
I think like maybe a little bit, but not like anything that's that serious.
Here's what I'll end it off with, guys. Okay,
Yeah, sorry, this has been
circling
very long.
circling the conversation back.
Good
When
luck.
when it comes to I had a good idea, but now I'm just spitballing. I'm trying to I'm getting my way back. When it comes to creation, I just think there's different ways to go about it. It's just you just have to know your audience. You have to. And the thing is, if we continue to consume these things, like people, Hollywood, you know, marketing, they see us as consumers. Okay. People are gonna go buy the new iPhone, regardless of if I make a new phone or not. Like what even like, oh, we change the camera is 2% clearer. I'm buying it. I'm buying it. Because people like the new thing. And they're
Mm,
not gonna try because why would we? They're not gonna make different iPhones. They're, like, why would we? They're gonna buy it anyways. We're just like, and there's no way to get out of it. It's just something that you just gotta be more aware of. Like, especially in Western media, they love feeding you the same shows, the same movie. This is a remake. This is a remake. This is a remake of a remake. This is something that, like, again and again. And you complain about it, but people will consume it.
mm.
This is me just telling you to watch more anime. Just watch anime.
That
When
sounds
I
like
tell
the
you
moral of
that,
the story.
oh my, like oh my god, I just love it. Like when I tell you that. Ooh, also another show, not even anime. La Casa de Papel. Great show. Spanish show. Spanish like heist show. It's great. But then guess what? Now there's like other, it's called Money Heist.
Oh, okay, I know Money Heist.
Yeah. There's like now there's like Money Heist Tokyo,
Yeah.
Money Heist, and I'm like, see, people don't care about innovation. That's why I think I've said this before. People are afraid of innovation. One, because there's no point in innovation because they're gonna buy the stuff anyway. So why should I innovate? But they also like to feed you stuff that makes you think they're innovating. Like, oh, um, we tried to give you guys what you wanted, but you didn't like it. So we're just gonna go back to what, like the Disney Wish movie that came out that no one saw. Like they were that
Don't say. I hope you're not talking. No, you're not talking about Wicked, are you?
I said Wish. It's an animated movie.
Oh, Wish. I thought you said Disney Witch, and I was like,
No,
they're gonna kill you for that.
no. Wish. Nobody went to go see that Wish movie. Like, and they're like, no, and so Disney's like, no, guys, we tried, and you guys didn't like it. It's like, well,
So
that
wasn't that
just
like half written by like AI? Like
that, and it's like, well, but that just wasn't a good movie.
it wasn't.
Like, no, guys, we tried to give you guys Secret Invasion, but you guys didn't. No, you didn't try anything. You gave us that same 6 episode slop again and just
It was
expected
really
us
bad.
to consume it, which some people did. And I'm still just like, man, I would never waste my time. There's here's what I'll say. All right, this is how I'll end it. I don't like when something wastes my time. Okay. If I begin to realize that what you are feeding me is just something to get me to sit on the couch longer, not to challenge me, not to give me a good story, not to motivate me in any kind of way, because that's what media is at the end of the day. It's something that you can have at the back of your head that keeps you moving, right? Whether it's a book, I mean, even an emotional TikTok. I mean, even like TikTok, like you laugh at a TikTok, you're like, like that one TikTok that just cheered your day up. Maybe you had a terrible day at work. You watch that one TikTok or a couple TikToks and you feel better. You know what I'm saying? Or you're at least laughing something off, the pain off or something. Like that's what all this is at the end of the day. And so I don't like when things waste my time. If you waste my time, then now I know going forward that you have nothing else to say. And so when Squid Game season 3 comes out, I'll probably watch it drunk or something. I honestly will have to do something. Imani, I am so down, dog. If you want to get wasted and just and just watch Squid Game, I would be so down, because like that's the only way I would consume that. I have to be having some kind of fun, because the show wastes my time. Why they didn't kill the man at the end of the season, I don't know. We're not gonna get into that. But why they didn't, I don't know. Because we need a season 3. You know, he's the main character. Like, just stop wasting my time. That's all. That's all I'm gonna say at the end of the day. And I just think that, you know, in the case of like Love Island and stuff like that, you know, it's obvious those shows, they're reality shows. They can show you as much as they want. They definitely waste your time in Love Island. But that's why I watch
That's
Love
why you
Island.
do it while you're sweeping your house or cleaning your
Exactly.
kitchen.
I don't watch Love. You think I sit here and I'm just like, yep, I'm gonna watch an episode of Love Island? Like, dog, you know how fucking bored I get of that show so quickly if I consume that like that? No. I'm watching Love Island as I'm picking up my room, as I'm playing a game, literally anything. Like, I am not consuming that. Like, no. So
That's fair.
that's all I have to say.
That's fair. I also think I've discovered after watching Squid Game that yeah, I also don't think I like things that waste my time. And few things do.
Few things do.
They tried to make me mad, and they did. So I'll say that. I think we should end now.
All right.
My computer's dying.
So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the podcast. Me and Imani came into this episode not knowing what we were going to talk about. And so even when I asked Imani, like, let's talk about Squid Game, we had no idea how far we were going to go with that. But once we realized...
We talked about it a lot, so I wasn't sure. But it's been a minute, you know, since...
I mean, once we realized, once we like came to the conclusion that Squid Game was just like remakes, we just started ranting about remakes. And
remakes, right?
So, yeah. So
I think that was also, this is the most like, I think, recommendations for media we've ever given in one singular podcast. I feel like we were like, yeah, like that show and that book, those are good. You guys should read that. Real.
Yeah. So
wait, let's end it. I will say last recommendation, just finished this book. I'm not a big book reader, so you know it was good. Set This House in Order by Matt Ruff. Also talks about two characters with dissociative identity disorder. Not perfect, nothing is perfect, a perfect representation of the experiences real people have. I bawled my fucking eyes out reading it. It's really good if you're interested in a drama. So.
My recommendation is The Witcher. Sorry, you can't see it. You can't see it.
Forgot it was a book.
It's called The Witcher: The Last Wish. I think that's the first book. I like it. My other recommendation.
He gets two.
Sorry, yeah. It's Game of Thrones. Sorry, yeah. I'm just throwing that out there. Game of Thrones, goated. Always been, always will be. That's just all I'm gonna say. I just wanted to talk about Game of Thrones. I needed. Oh, and ReZero. That's my anime. Sorry, throw that out there too. Gotta have ReZero recommendation in every episode. You might have got in
every single episode until they
watch it. So ReZero, watch it, love it. It's great. It does. Hey, best part about it, it won't waste your time. I'm just saying. Even when you think it will, it builds somewhere greater with it. That's all I'm gonna say. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I'm Jalen.
I'm Imani.
And we will see you in the next episode. Have a good night, day,
Morning,
morning, good
evening,
morning,
week.
good night, good evening, wherever you are right now. We love you.